You're hanging out with me and Marissa, and I thought this was cute before you say no. So we want to talk about some of the things that make it really hard for you to access your certification. So you might be a super closeted birth nerd. You're sitting at home watching your birth videos, crying at the baby story. I don't know, is that still a thing? It was when I started. Flipping through magazines, loving every time somebody's pregnant around you, like all of these things, like you just like love that these are preconception stage, those babies, those bellies, and then you get to the like, this is what I want to do, and there's this barrier that stops you from, pressing the like register for school, buying your textbooks, opening your new notebook and your pen, and like actually like one step in front of the other doing it. So every day this week, we're going to be talking about some of the things that make it the hardest for women, mothers, and queers to get their butts in their classroom and do this incredible work. Marissa, what's our first objective? No, that's the word. Yeah. Objection. I was like, that's not the right word.
Intimidated about that can make this decision very scary for some people is thinking that it's too expensive. Right? And sometimes people think like, I know the value, I just cannot afford it. Like it's impossible. So what do you think about that, Bianca?
Well, it's a really common one. We hear this all the time. This is too expensive. So what we want to talk about is, yes, if you were taking a trip and you were under-resourced right now, that would be expensive. If you were wanting to buy a bag, no judgment of anybody that wants to buy a $1,600 bag, but like, yeah, that's probably not the best use of your money if you have debt and student loans and kids with medical treatments and rent due and a cell phone bill and like all of these but what we're talking about here is not a frivolous purchase or trip or something that you spend the money and then it's just gone. This is an investment in your education, and your education with a skills-based learning. So you get a skill at the end of it that's actually a marketable skill that you can get profit from. So it's a little investment in something that will actually solve a lot of your money problems.
Yeah, I think I totally identify with that. Like just feeling like, oh my God, like it's a lot of money. But I mean, for the other thing that makes it very accessible and it was what allowed me to take the MSP program when I did was the payment plans. It's like I think I broke it down. It was like just like either $100 or like a few $100s a month. That was not a lot of money that I just paid over time. And it was just like a way to like be like doing like little investments on myself, because it doesn't have to be you don't have to pay all of it. And we follow feminist business practices, so we don't actually charge you more, which is something that I want to like shut out the roof. Right? Because sometimes people are really worried about doing payment plans, because what traditional like business practices do is that they will charge you more and more the longest your plan is. So like if you pay over a year, you end up paying so much more.
Yeah.
We don't do that. The same amount of money that you would pay if you just make the whole investment today is the same amount of money that you're going to end up paying if you do take the payment plan. And once you start taking doula clients, you probably can pay your whole entire training in 1 or 2 clients.
Yeah. No, it is. That's one of the main things. And we teach you how to start getting clients within the course. So within your 12 weeks, 17 weeks, guys, I'm on fire today. Within your 17 weeks, you actually can start taking clients, and we teach you how. We also teach you how to find that sweet spot between serving folks who would otherwise not have birth support and making sure that people who can afford birth support, that they supplement one another. It's magic. It's an ecosystem. And it is the way that you can start taking care of you as well as whoever else you're dependent to, aging parents, children, best friend, partners, whoever else that you also are responsible for taking care of financially. Now, I know that sometimes it can be really hard for folks when you might be pregnant, you might have just had a baby, you might have several children, something about your life might be unmanageable for you to leave the house to do client care. So tomorrow, we're actually doing a free workshop at 2 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch it on our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, or join us live in the webinar. And we're going to teach you how you can work from home with a Babel Mia certification. We have 23 ways you can diversify your income using our certification that will allow you to stay home with your kids while still serving within the reproductive health and justice field. Marissa and I have made a very comprehensive list.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Sometimes people think that birth work is gonna look at just one particular way, right? And that's the other thing when we're talking about the investment that we are doing in a training like this. It just gives you so many different channels to work through, so you don't have to be attending births the whole entire time to keep doing this work. You're growing as a birth worker in all these different buckets, and you can kind of adjust it to your lifestyle and to the conditions that you're in now. And if next year your conditions are completely different, you can adjust it again. So it is not only a fantastic investment on yourself, but it's a flexible one that just will allow you to grow in different directions.
Yeah. And Marissa and I have been single parent breadwinners for our household as birth workers. So I know sometimes we hear stories and you're like, yeah, but do you have a husband who has an income? Or like, yeah, you know, fill in the blank with all the reasons. Marissa and I are the only people bringing money in our house as single parents with birth workers. My situations have changed. I'm now partnered and don't do a lot of birth work because Babel Me is my full-time job. But for 0 to 8 years of my daughter's life, that was my situation. So it is possible. Hi, Jennifer. I got your message here, and we will get you set up. Just write to info@babelmia.com, and we will make sure you get your certification taken care of. Good to see your name come up. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So one of the other things is we really want you instead to start doing, like, it's really easy for us to cut corners. Like, I'm going to cancel Netflix. I'm not going to go for coffee this week. I'm going to do all these things to just keep making your budget work for you. That's like already too small. It's not working for you. You're not able to get all the things that you need to do for just like baseline living, let alone adding some flip and joy, whatever that looks like for you. Getting out of debt, like all of these things. So we really want you to start thinking expansively. And for the payment plan amount, we can support you in creating a revenue stream that will take care of all of those other parts. Well, you get to do something really magical, y'all. Like you get to be there while somebody goes through their conception journey or their pregnancy or their birth. Like you get to watch that first moment. Babies are like, ooh, it never gets old. Like you get to support families so they get off on that parenting foot that feels so profound. We change the trajectory of families and healing. We stop PMADs. Those are postpartum mood disorders. Like it's incredible the role that we hold for families. I know,
It is
Marissa and
something
I.
that truly nourishes your heart so much. I feel people, and we do this all the time. We invest on the things that make us happy, that bring us happiness. And sometimes it's a big investment, sometimes it's just little things, like you buy like a little chocolate or you just like
A magazine you love.
yeah, you buy like these little things that are gonna nourish your soul, and this is a big nourishment for the soul when you get to make such an impact on people's lives with your work as a birth worker.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. So we have the payment plans. We really want to support you. If you want to talk to Kelly, she's always standing by, info@babelmia.com, to help you with any of this. Please check out if you're like, oh, I think I'm in the bucket of, you have either too many children with disabilities, you're pregnant, you just had a baby, you have a life situation that would be unmanageable to leave the house for client care. Come to the workshop tomorrow where we're going to teach you the 23 ways you can diversify your income with a Babel Mia certification. It will feel very inspiring. I know I felt very excited and inspired just making that list with Marissa. Okay, Marissa, objection number 2/3.
Yeah. So this one is kind of like it seems opposite, but it's two sides of the same coin. And it is either there are too many doulas in my area or no one knows about doulas in my area. And it's interesting because people will kind of like debate with each other. I was in the
Which
camp
is worse?
too many doulas in my area and just kind of feeling like, oh my god, like how am I gonna stand out? And then other people were like, oh, you're lucky that there are many doulas in your area because then people know about the work of doulas. And like the you always think the grass is greener. I would always just be like, well, if I were in a place where I was the only doula, I would do X, Y, and Z, and then they probably found out their way. If I were in a place that people already knew about doulas, everything would be easier. So
Mhm.
either way, starting a business is gonna have a lot of different elements, right? But um yeah, like this is a common objection that people have. Like they worry about being able to stand out in a place where there either are a lot of people doing the same work, or there's no awareness about this kind of work.
Mhm. Yeah, no, and there's obviously pros and cons to both of them, and this is something that we teach you in the program. We also have a mantra, like literally repeat it, yell it from the rooftops, sing it from the mountains. We want collaboration over competition. So no matter if you are in what you perceive as a saturated area, or you're the only person in your region, county, province, state, whatever, that you're the birth worker, that we teach you how you can make that work for you, with collaboration, because there's so many parts to this, guys. One is there's always more birthers than birth workers by like 100,000 to 1 ratio. So there are always babies being born, and you want to be birth worker. We see you and we want you in our MSP program. You are not the best birth worker for every birther. So people need to have choice. What Marissa would want in a birth worker is different than what I would want in a birth worker. And if there was only one in our area, that we're like, oh, so if you were just kicking off your community, that's amazing. And then you can get other folks involved so that you can actually create some like linked arm marketing awareness and then create options for folks. And then again, the reverse. If you're in a community that has hundreds of birth workers, gather together and create really amazing squads that you're like, you can do this. This is your specialty. You work with, plus size birthers. You will do VBAC work. You only do home births. You work with queer folks. That's a huge umbrella. So then within that, you work with lesbians. You work with trans workers, solo by choice, like birth after loss. Like we need all of these needs met for people, and only you can do that. And so that is one of the like incredible parts that we do not want you going out being like, ugh, how do I take down the other birth workers? Get to know them all and refer the heck out of each other to meet the exact needs for growing families.
Hmm. Yeah, and there might be a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, I'm not the kind of person that would want to have a doula." Oh, it's because you're not a birth worker yet, but they would like to have you at their birth.
Yes.
So, like so, these people have like specific ideas about what having a birth worker attend your birth is, but everyone's so different. Everyone is just gonna provide different kind of support, and your presence is gonna be. Um, like is going to connect with certain people, the same way that you have certain friends that you connect with very strongly, and there are other people that you might have done some things in common, but you don't connect with them in that profound level. It's very similar to that. So we love talking about this. We love talking
Mm.
about niching and like really becoming very clear who are the people that you love serving, because we also don't want to be we don't want birth work to become that thing, the kind of work that people do where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to work, like the typical
Yuck.
no, it's Monday. We don't want that for you. We want birth work to become an incredible source of joy for you. And how we do that is partly is finding the people that you love working with, the clients that just bring so much joy into your life that you just leave a prenatal visit or leave a postpartum visit or leave their birth and you just feel so recharged and happy and connected with them, and they are going to get a way better experience when they are finding a birth worker that they are connected with in that way. So
Yeah.
we are very, very, very passionate about helping you find the people that you will connect with. And everybody has these people because there are so many people in the world.
Yeah.
So you might think, oh, I'm so introverted, or I'm so socially awkward. How in the world am I? Well, nobody believes that it's true, but it's so hard to believe that Bianca is actually an introvert.
Such an introvert, y'all. I have to pep myself up every time I go to a consult, go to a birth, do any of these. I'm like, okay, you can ask my wife, you can ask my friends. Behind the scenes, I'm like, I need a nap, y'all. I was on camera today. I'm just very good with people, but if I had my way, I would be silent, alone all the time. It's not very sustainable, though.
Yeah. You see, Bianca can get out of the house.
Yeah, no joke. No joke.
Some people worry about the opposite. They think like, I'm too loud, I'm too bold, or I mean, some people luckily are not worried about this. But what we're trying to say is just you can find the people that are going to be your people, and there is so many people out there that would love to work with you. And when you are just sitting over there hesitant, thinking that there are too many birth workers, those people are going to go a lot of times without that care, because they are not going to connect with the 2 or 3 doulas that might be in your area. Or they might go for a birth worker that was not the best choice for them, because they are lacking that diversity on
Mm-hmm.
the kind of service that you can provide, and the kind of care that you will be able to provide for them.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about the objections around just not making the budget for going back to school. And we want to remind you, this is not like a luxury piece of education. It is a skills revenue generating career. So that was our first objection. If you have other objections around within the bucket of money, please join us tomorrow for the free workshop about the 23 ways you can work from home with your Babel Mia doula certification. That will be here, 2 p.m. Eastern time. You can check it out on YouTube, join us for the live webinar, or join us live on Facebook. Then we wanted to talk a little bit about, which we did in this video, about the too many birth workers or doulas in your community, or you'd be the first, or there's very few, and both of them, you can make it work and make a beautiful, thriving business. Again, using the 23 ways you can work from home with your doula certification is a great way that you could be supplementing hands-on client care if you do live rurally. So we have lots of ways. There's virtual support. There's so many. We're going to come with your notebook or however your stylus and iPad tomorrow, and get ready to take some notes, because we have very, very good suggestions. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time here. Our MSP starts this week. So that is our 3-in-1 doula training: fertility, birth, and postpartum, all in one. It's taught live online. So it's like this, but you'll be able to hang out with us and talk and chat and all of that. But it starts this Thursday. It runs for 17 weeks. Please check it out on our website. You can find out more. Payment plans are available: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months with no interest. There's no extra fees. We really want to make it accessible for women, mothers, and queers to access our program. I think that was everything.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we will be talking about more objections.
Yes.
There is some other things that people find like they get on their way, and we will be coming live again. But yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow's workshop. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be very, very good. Honestly, it will get you really, really inspired around all the ways you can use your doula certification, create that community, create those additional revenue streams, change the flippin' world, all while taking care of your heart, taking care of your loved ones, and doing some cool shit with a very fun community. We're a good time. We are a good time. Yeah. So grab your spot. If you have been like, oh, should I not? Grab your spot in our MSP training. Registration's open. Classes start this Thursday. We would love to have you there. Marissa, I love seeing your beautiful face. Thank you for joining me.
I'll see you all soon.
All right. Ciao, everyone.